mailbag?
Yep.
Oh, I had a
Yeah.
little Twitter stuff.
Yep.
If you want to hear this, it's real. So I tweet. So did you see that video that Will Ospreay put out, where basically he was saying his career's been cut short because if he's chosen to do a style that's
No.
led to injuries and stuff? Okay, so he had put this video out, and so I just tweeted out as like anybody see that Will Ospreay video where he admits working a style that Dave Meltzer promotes to the moon is leading to a shortened career. And when a bunch of course, I actually got a lot of support for that tweet from some of my fans because they know I've for God knows how long just promoted wrestler safety. Like why would you want? I'm if you could wrestle safer, why wouldn't you? And I think it's a problem with. And you look at Will Ospreay, who is like the highest rated guy on Dave Meltzer's star system, and he's talking about his career's getting cut short. So it's obvious that you can open up a discussion to what is the give and take with what you want to do with your career. Do you want to because like you're getting paid the same. Like when you to tell a promoter and you make a deal and you have your price and he's paying it, okay? Regardless of whether you have a 3-star match or a 5-star match, you're still getting that amount of money for the match, right? And if you think that doing more high-risk stuff gets you higher ratings in your matches, which it kind of does these days, and it's going to lead to injuries and stuff. You got to ask yourself, is it worth it? And that's a very legitimate question to ask guys like this. But people, typical response to my tweet, but positive, negative. But Will Otter responded. He said, "Please give me advice to become as household of a name as you, Glenn."
Oh.
And okay, I will give him advice. Come up with an entertaining gimmick, like I did. I wasn't the best wrestler in the world, but I'll tell you what, compared to 95% of the talent today, maybe more than that, I still throw a better punch than most of the guys in the business today, and I still sell better than most of the people in the business today. So, and those are two skills in professional wrestling that apparently are difficult to do because a lot of people these days don't do it as well as I did. So just these guys try to come up with some things that you can entertain the crowd. And let's get actually, this segues perfectly into this first email. I'm gonna continue this
but
conversation.
Was this guy throwing shade at you or what?
Yeah, of course. Everybody throws shade at me.
So if he's saying, Will, if he's saying that, if you're saying that your career is being cut short, you're basically agreeing with what Glenn's saying. So why take that shot? But I will say this: when you're young and you have the ability to do what Jeff Hardy would do when he was young, or so many other people like that, Sabu and people of that ilk, Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero, and so you're going to try to do as much as you can because you can do it and you're young. And then once they start getting older and they start wrestling smarter, they get hurt, or some veteran pulls them aside that they respect and said, bro, you're going out. Because when you're young, it's very hard to cage somebody's energy and youthfulness. And I just think at the end of the day, sometimes you sacrifice the present for the future. Because look at somebody they'll learn the style. You know what I'm saying? They'll learn to tone it down. So I always look at it as, if you're smart, you'll learn down the road to tone down your style and understand you don't need to do all that to get over. But at the beginning, you got to do something to get over because there's so much competition and nobody knows you. So that would be my response to it.
Plus, I think the perception is.
Let me go ahead.
The perception, I think, among the guys has changed as far as what giving the fans their money's worth entails. So a lot of these guys, I would probably say to you, I'm giving the fans what they paid for. And they think that they have to do everything under the sun and all their moves and all their high-flying stuff, no matter how big or small the show is, because they're thinking, I got to give the people live their money's worth. Plus, the crazier that they do is also likely to help their career because it'll get them attention on YouTube and Twitter and things like that.
Well, let me make a perfect point here. Bro, they've set the bar very high, and they can't sustain, and they cannot reach the bar that they've set. They've set a standard of work and stuff. And it's like Kenny Omega's had surgeries. Will Ospreay's now had surgeries. Says, dude, when you set the bar that high and you're providing a lot of risk to reach that bar, look at what happens. Lower the bar. There's no reason to do as much high-risk stuff that you guys do because you're very talented workers, but you just think that you have to do some spectacular thing that requires real risk of injury, and like the adds up.
Right.
And you're hurt, and like just like dude. So it leads into the first mailbag question, which is a perfect segue from Marvin Zavaleta, and the subject is the mid card. Greetings, Di and Conan. Just a quick question for both you guys: why were the mid card wrestlers super over compared to modern day mid carders? Besides a few standout guys that I can think of, most mid carders today don't hold a candle to some of the guys from the 2000s and earlier on. I find myself being far more entertained rewatching old segments from WCW all through the card. Like, no matter who wrestled, everyone was super over. Bro, because all of us had kind of like a gimmick. Alex Wright would come out there dancing and stuff, everything. Kidman was in the flock and would be scratching himself all the time and everything because he was like on drugs and stuff, everything. I come out there and I'm doing a disco dancer. Conan's coming out there, he's got audience participation, his promo. Orale, arriba, bro, we had charisma, we had character. You know, a lot of the mid-card guys today just wrestle. And like here I am today, I'm very healthy. You know, I can still go wrestle right now. I'm in great shape and everything. My shoulder's a little bit sore, but it's like I don't have, you know, like something where I'm risking my career. I just quit when I could still do it. You know, it's like these guys are having to quit because they're hurt. What do you think about this, Conan? This email question.
I don't know. I think in general, because obviously, you know, just in general, I think we were probably better prepared and had a lot of experience elsewhere because, you know, I had already come from Mexico doing 10 years in the Mexican circuit. You know, Jericho, Eddie, Dean, Benoit, they'd all been to New Japan, Mexico, Canada. You know, I was in Stampede with Benoit. So, you know, I think they had a lot more experience coming in than a lot of these indie guys that they pick up after 2 or 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Who come in green and with a lot of bad habits.
Yeah. And those guys, all that you mentioned, all wrestled worldwide. So they had experience in front of crowds in Mexico, Japan, Canada, and the States.
Yeah, you're just repeating what I just said.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Right. Here's the next one. Joe, you got the screenshot ready in this next question about the
yes,
AI
I
and
do.
wrestling?
Okay, I'm late with this, but yeah.
Subject. The subject is mailbag question, AI and wrestling. Greetings, D.I. Conan and Joe. I will cut straight to the point and won't make this longer than needed. With the development he just did right there. This is funny, this sentence. I will cut straight to the point, and by typing out and having me read, and won't make this longer than needed, you made it longer than needed. You should just got will cut straight to the point. With the development and emergence of AI such as ChatGPT and AutoGPT, which could pretty much pull existing information in seconds based on logic, do you think it will soon infiltrate the wrestling industry, and how in the future this can be developed and taken over the whole product? I provide an example below regarding a simple question to ChatGPT to build a wrestling promo. Already is more interesting than what Tony Khan is writing on Rampage. Di, can you do the honors of reading to this team to the team this promo that this AI has created? And yes, I will. Conan, do you know about this ChatGPT stuff and everything?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, this is have a great weekend, everyone. This is Lee from London Town. No association with Billy Body, he says. So next, all right. So here's the chat. Let me wait. Is my I gotta make this bigger. Hang on. To make it bigger, he can edit this show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go.
Would you like me to
I got it. Okay. All right. Okay, this one, Chappie. She write me a wrestling promo was the question. All right, listen up, all you wrestling fans out there. The stage is set, the lights are on, and the energy is electric. Because tonight we have a showdown that you won't want to miss. In the red corner, we have the undisputed champion of the world, the man who has been dominating the wrestling scene for years, the one, the only, the legendary, and it says insert wrestler's name. He's been taken on all challengers, and nobody's been able to knock him off his throne. But tonight, he's facing a huge challenger. A young up-and-comer who's been making waves in the wrestling world and is hungry for that championship title. He's been training hard day and night, studying tapes and working on his moves, and he's ready to take on the best in the world. And that's what it's all about, folks. The best in the world. Because when you step into that ring, there's no guarantees. Anything can happen, and anyone can come out on top. It's all about heart, determination, and the will to win. So let's get ready to rumble. Let's see who's got what it takes to be the champion of champions. Will it be reigning king of the ring, or will the challenger rise to the occasion and take his place at the top of the mountain? There's only one way to find out. Let the wrestling begin. Okay, this guy, did this guy say, let me read this. Did he say,
It said his
already. He said already. It is more interesting than what Tony Khan is writing on Rampage. That was very boy. Because you're the guy, Conan, and let's suspend him from the mailbag for a week for misinformation. That was terrible. What did you think of that? What did you think about that promo, Conan? That Chat GPT.
What is it that you put, Joe, that you actually smiled as a, what was it?
Did you hear the sound effect?
You are fake news.
You are taking over. First of all, taking over the whole product is what he said.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think so. You need the human element to write wrestling. It could be a useful aid in the future. Right now, that promo is brutal. And so, yeah, you're wrong.
Yeah. Next is from Neil Tambo, and the subject is The Miz. I hope you're all doing well. This is my first. Oh, by the way, Conan, let's try to rush through this mailbag today because there's something on in about an hour and 40 minutes that me and you are both very interested in.
Yes, we're gonna wax that again.
Yeah, okay, watch your language on this show. This is my first email. My question's about The Miz. Is he really as bad as a lot of the podcasters would have you believe? I mean, he's had several title runs, and to me seems like a good worker who can have a great match with anyone. So I wondered, do you gentlemen think he's bad as he's made out to be? It's like, no, of course not. Miz is always, they've given him some stupid whack to do a lot, but he's always been able to produce his segments on the mic. Like, I've never seen him bomb on, like, when has he ever, like, flub his lines or just not produce entertaining content that gets a crowd reaction almost every single time he's out there? It's ridiculous that people would think this guy's, like, not talented. It's ridiculous. What do you think, Conan?
Well, I think he said something about the ICW community or the podcasters.
The podcasters, the Mark podcasters.
Okay, so these podcasters, they all love Japanese and high flying. Okay, but there's a reason why he's always in a major storyline, because he's great at everything he does. He's professional, doesn't hurt anyone. He's never hurt. He's got a great persona. He's great on the mic when he wants to be. He can do jobs and not be affected. He's the guy you want. That's why he's always doing something, because he's entertaining.
And he's the type of guy you can go to
anybody. Bro, let me tell you this. I'm gonna really boil it down. Anybody can wrestle. Not everybody can be entertaining, and there's a huge difference.
Huge difference. Miz is also the type of guy that you could go to a sports bar and watch the games with. It's like an entertaining. It's like he comes across as an entertaining guy you'd want to hang out with. I've hung out with him before. I saw him here in Vegas. We ate dinner and stuff and with some of the guys and stuff, and he's a very entertaining guy. Right. So it's like you could just tell you can see him on TV. It's so stupid. The standards of people, what people think talent is these days, is that bro, acrobatics and gymnastics. Anybody, you can teach people to do that. It's like you said, you can't teach people to be charismatic. You have to have it in you to let it get out, and stuff. So I don't know. Next is from John Santos, and the subject is Santana return. Hey, what's up, guys? Hope all is well. Conan, that Hall speech is probably the best thing to come out of WrestleMania weekend. I don't know why Disco buried it and gave it 2.5 stars. The 2.5 stars reminds me of his old matches. Nothing. Okay, by the way, John Santos, 1 week suspension. My question is for the great Conan. One of the podcast episodes was hearing Conan talk about some of the original plans for LAX and AEW was for him to manage them, but they ended up with Jericho. What a shame. Santana and Ortiz could have ended up being one of the best tag teams in all of wrestling with the help of Conan, or even helping to catapult Santana to become a top guy. Conan, when do you think he'll be back, or is he even coming back at all to AEW? If he does come back, how would you book him going forward? And also, Disco Inferno, is it true that Nikita Lyons' finisher, the split pin, originated from Juventud practicing a move on Conan? But do you want to make him another week suspension?
Give him another week.
2 weeks.
So this guy, what's his name?
John Santos, yes.
Okay, could be Latino. Okay, so you're trying to get over on me and want me to answer a question?
Right.
Okay. How about this? Go eat a... That's number one. Number two, what's the split pin? Is that when the chick does the split on top of the guy?
Right, yes.
So let me explain this to you, you feeble-minded clod. You're confusing one thing with the other. That's the move, since I couldn't do like the full split, that I just you with a habanero chili sauce, then extracted said 2-piece set from your orifice, tremendous word for a Latino, then I wrote and put it on your facials, put a carrot in your mouth and called you the snow mark. Nothing. That's just
Uh,
off the top.
Next is from Dean Buckley, and subject is WCW. Hi guys, Dean from Cork City, Ireland. Quick question. Seen a few clips this week of WCW and Ernest Miller was a commissioner. He was brutal and kept calling everyone a stupid bitch. My question is, why did everyone think it was a good pick for the role? What did he get up to after WCW? Cheers, boys. Well, Dean from Cork City, Ireland, he was in a movie called The Wrestler. For one thing, we wrestled. He was the main event character. And plus, I know. Yeah, he does a karate school in Atlanta and does very well.
Bro, I saw him in WrestleMania weekend or what?
Right.
Yeah, I saw him there because I was signing autographs.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still as entertaining as ever. And he had some. And it's kind of funny because now, like all the older wrestlers, they always have some, I don't know, lackey, stooge, driver, chauffeur, assistant. Like they always have somebody that's with them, kind of like sponsoring them. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'll bring you to WrestleMania, but you got to pay the meal. You got to pay the hotel room.
Right.
Sure, I'll go with you. Like a lot of people had one of those, had a +1.
I thought Ernest Miller was a great commissioner.
Yeah, he was funny.
He was funny. He came across as some shady guy, but he was kind of wise. It was like he had a lot of depth to his character.
And he had a lot of confrontations with the filthy animals because we were always rude to him.
Right.
Yeah. But I thought what was hilarious was when he was doing that stuff with the young dragons or whatever.
Right.
That was hilarious.
Like Kato, like he was doing the Kato spots. Yeah, it was funny stuff. I don't know. That guy was from Cork City, Ireland, so he probably knows Husey.
He's probably drunk when he wrote it too.
Yeah.